when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. Build a seed with the negativity.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another exciting edition of the Sports Report Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. William D. Morgan. I got a cast of thousands with me tonight. Got a lot to talk about. NFL. Week 4, heading into Week 5. Got some injuries to talk about. Still crying over T. Higgins. Come on, man. I need you to get better. Hurry up. And the whole Bengals. I need that whole Bengals offense to hurry up and get better. Particularly you, Joe Burrow, after all that money you signed for it. But we're going to get into all that. Drew Holiday gets traded to the Celtics. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. So I'm going to start bringing folks in. First, this person has forgotten more baseball than I will ever know. And my man, 7 what's up?
What's up, buddy? How you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good. Can't complain. So I got the room set up early as I did because I knew I was going to be late tonight because I didn't get off till 9:30.
Dude, it's been a crazy day. A lot of stuff has come out today, especially in the world of baseball. We're gonna have so much to talk about baseball. I cannot wait to get into that. We've got a lot to talk about.
All right. Next up, he is our special guest of the evening from the Geek Gauntlet podcast, from Geek News Now. Let me bring my man Ambrose in. Ambrose, what's up?
Going well, man. How's everything going?
Going pretty good. Can't complain.
Looking at this MLB playoff bracket, and it is insane.
I think we might
It is.
like in a little bit of. Well, I think we'll talk baseball first, and then we'll get in the show with the NFL. But let me go ahead and bring in this next person. He is the CEO of Walmart and Trailer Parks. From my man Dan, what's up?
Oh, you goddamn right, Will. How you doing, guys? You guys getting anything weird from my microphone right now?
No, you're good.
Sound fine to me, man.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because my voice is fucking chocolatey velvet. Look at Ambrose with that. Ambrose, you look like a 70s football player / John Travolta dancer right now.
You got to rep the Oilers, man. Warren Moon, best quarterback without a Super Bowl.
Ambrose did so much cocaine earlier that he peed on a fly outside and tried to carjack him.
Yeah, that's right. I'm Kenny Stabler's illegitimate kid.
Man.
I got cocaine running through my brain.
Me and Michael Irvin hang out. Let's just say that.
Hey, I got him on speed dial. I'm not bragging, but I'm bragging.
As he would say, Michael Irvin and I. Michael Irvin and I.
We tried to bring Dion. We tried to bring Dion back to the dark side, but he's trying to mentor kids.
Oh, he's trying to be a college coach and not do a bunch of cocaine. What a fucking jeez!
What a jag off!
Don't invite him to the party.
That's some bull stuff. That's some fucking bull stuff right there, Dion. You know what else is some bull stuff, guys? That
hard mics. That's what I'm talking about.
I got this out of a cooler that I don't know where it came from in my backyard. So that's a start.
Probably had that since you sold it from the gas station in middle school.
Well, that's how much I don't drink anymore. I'm just drinking Mike's Hard, and it's actually quite
some
refreshing.
15-year-old girl was running from the cops and just dumped that in your backyard.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. I told her to come over, Ambrose. Count it.
Hey, man.
Count it.
I saw nothing.
I saw nothing.
Me and Wander hang out.
All right,
Wander and I.
What I want to do first, I'm going to change things up a little bit. Is NFL king? Yes, I'm not going to see in front. But there was some stuff in baseball that we do need to talk about. I want to go ahead and do it right now on our 7th inning stretch. Let's go.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints.
All right, Seven, the floor is yours, my friend.
All right, so I know that Mr. Ambrose and I are very excited to talk about the MLB playoff bracket, which is a big topic. We've got a lot to discuss. There's going to be some interesting predictions for this. I would bet money if I had any that there will be. But first, I want to talk about some information that just came out this afternoon. This is pretty recent. Hopefully, since we're talking about something that's trending, we might get a little activity on the live views. It was Trevor Bauer, embattled Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer, released a video today.
Embattled.
On his Twitter, which is where I'm going to be sharing this from, so that hopefully I don't get in any trouble. But let's take a gander at this video real quick.
Next, pick star pitcher for the Dodgers. Text Lindsey Hill sent to a friend before she ever even met me. What should I steal? She asked another in reference to visiting my house for the first time. The answer? Take his money. So how might that work? I'm going to his house Wednesday, she said. I already have my hooks in. You know how I roll. Then, after the first time we met, net worth is 51 mil, she said. Bitch, you better secure the bag, was the response.
Of course.
But how is she going to do that? Need daddy to choke me out, she said. Being an absolute whore to try to get in on his 51 million, read another text. Then, after the second time we met, former Padres pitcher Jacob Nix told her, you got to get this bag.
Why is it doing this?
Give you 50,000.
Because my brain's doing that.
Her AA sponsor asked her at one point, do you feel a tiny bit guilty? Not really, she replied. Since then, her legal team has approached me multiple times about coming to a financial settlement. But as I have done since day one, I refuse to pay her even a single cent. In August of 2021, Lindsey Hill's claims were heard in court. And during those legal proceedings, critical information was deliberately and unlawfully concealed from me and my legal team. Information like this video, which was taken by Lindsey Hill herself the morning after she claimed she was brutally attacked, emotionally traumatized, and desperate to get away from me. And now we have the metadata, so there can be no dispute. It was taken mere minutes before she left my house on the morning of May 16th, 2021, without my knowledge or consent, of course. In it, you can see her lying in bed next to me while I'm sleeping, looking at the camera without a care in the world, or any marks on her face. I think it paints a pretty clear picture of what actually happened the evening of May 15th and why the video was originally concealed from us. After hearing the evidence available to her, Judge Joanna Gold Altman found that Lindsey Hill had misled the court. She found her claims to be materially misleading. She denied her request for a domestic violence restraining order, and she found that no sexual assault or non-consensual conduct took place. Now, some of you might not know about restraining order hearings. I know I didn't, but I've since learned that it's extremely rare for a request for a restraining order to be denied because the standard of proof that you need to obtain one is extremely low.
Not much.
You can make of that what you will. The fact is, I was never arrested. I was never charged with a crime, and I won the only legal proceeding that took place without my side of the story even being. And most importantly, as I've said from day one, I never sexually assaulted Lindsey Hill, or anyone else for that matter. So I sued her, which prompted her to countersue me. Quite frankly, regardless of the outcome in court, I've paid significantly more in legal fees than Lindsey Hill could ever pay me in her entire life. And I knew that would be the case going in. But the lawsuit was never about the money for me. It was the only way for me to obtain critical information to clear my name. The discovery process in that lawsuit recently concluded, at which point Lindsey Hill's legal team again came to us with another proposal to resolve the case. This time, however, they weren't seeking any money from me. Having received much of the information that had been hidden from us, a small portion of which I've referenced here, I was willing to agree to the terms proposed. Both parties would drop their respective lawsuits, and neither of us would pay either side any money. I also retained my right to speak publicly about the case, something I have not been at liberty to do since June of 2021. So, as of today, both lawsuits have been settled. Now, over the last 2 years, I've been forced to defend my integrity and my reputation in a very public setting. but hopefully this is the last time I have to do so, as I'd prefer to just remain focused on doing my job, winning baseball games and entertaining fans around the world. So today, I'm happy to be moving on with my life.
Wow.
That is fucking interesting, isn't it?
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah, it is.
Yes, King, keep that bag.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and since it became clear in the initial process that this was fucking questionable at best as far as what happened, I've remained in support of Trevor Bauer's rights being respected, and on top of that, supportive of him being allowed to do his job, because there is not enough advice, or there has not been enough evidence that this was an egregious situation where he should be prevented from playing. Like, say, Julio Urias of the LA Dodgers, who beat his fucking wife.
Mm-hmm.
And there was clear evidence from the beginning that this man beat his fucking wife. So I'm going to say this. The Dodgers clearly made an error in judgment in parting ways with Trevor Bauer. Are they in the playoffs right now? Yes, we'll talk about that bracket here in a minute. But they made a mistake in letting Trevor Bauer go, because some team's going to get him on a deal, and he is going to be on a fucking warpath.
Let's go, Yankees.
Now he's going to sign in Boston, because fuck the Yankees. He already played for the Yankees of the West Coast. But I'm proud of Trevor Bauer for speaking his mind and doing so as eloquently as he did, as fact-based as he did, without getting overly personal, because I'm pretty sure all of us can agree, if you're trying to come for my 51 million, I'm going to get kind of pissed off about it, and emotions are going to come into play. I'm going to kick at you guys after this. There should be a penalty for somebody doing this to someone, because right now there isn't, and this man's career has been completely upended by the fact that these false accusations came out against him.
I agree.
I agree.
This is so much worse from, like, it's the fact that she did this is so much worse, because now every woman who actually gets mistreated or beaten or whatever happens, abused, there's going to be a second thought to it, because shit like this happens, because it's so much worse, dude. Like, it's so much worse than, it's almost as bad as doing it. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying, like, like, you make it, if you make them second guess, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're making people second guess. Like, if people shouldn't be second guess when they have to come out and with this stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? When it actually happens to them, it shouldn't be second guess. It should be a fucking positive thing. And, like, people like her are causing people to go, oh, I don't know if it really happened or not, because remember that Lindsey Hill chick? Like, that's fucking terrible. It's worse.
And that's part of the problem. Is people like as somebody that's a victim of sexual assault, this pisses me off as much as if he had actually done it, because this man is a victim. He is a victim of extortion, because that's what this fucking is. There's no other way to admit. There's no other way to slice it. This is fucking extortion. And because he held firm and prioritized the truth over paying somebody to get out of his life so that he could continue on with his career, he may lose his career. And I'm sorry, but that's bullshit. Because any person that comes forward because they are a victim of sexual assault should not have to face the, is this true, from the media or from your average person at any step along the way. And so I have a solution, because now Dan and Will, you guys may have seen, I shared something yesterday on my Facebook about the fact that I'm really sick and tired of the lies of celebrities being public conversation. You know, because they work in the public. No, the fucking door greeters at Walmart work in public, but I don't get an alert on my phone when Tim, the fucking door greeter, goes to get his arthritis medication and then takes the manager from the fucking dairy department out to Golden Corral for dinner.
How is Tim doing?
Facts.
I don't. He seems to be doing all right. He was on a date, so, like, good for him. But, like, I'm not getting alerts to that shit on my phone. So I don't give a fuck if anybody gets charged with anything, unless it is a serious, egregious situation, like Urias, like Henry Ruggs, for example, last year. There is a clear difference in these cases. We need to stop trying people in the court of public opinion, because if they're guilty of what they did, they're going to get theirs anyway. But if they're not guilty, we protect the careers and the mental health of these fucking individuals that have to feel like they did something when they didn't even do anything fucking wrong.
Well, and that's very well said. And I really hope that.
Edwards, you got an echo.
Yeah, I got to echo. Hold on, let me try this.
Let's pump the brakes on Henry Ruggs.
You're muted, buddy.
Now I think everybody's muted.
No, I'm not.
Oh no, we're not. We can hear you.
How's that?
Much
That's
better.
That's better.
Okay, yeah, my headphones have been acting up. I got to complain on another podcast too. Sorry about that. Hopefully, these more of these accusers come back, or the accused do this, because this has been going on. It started in the NBA. I know a lot of you guys have followed the NBA. This started about 30 years ago. Girls were writing books, how to bag a baller.
Yep.
You know, pumping out kids. Sean Kemp doesn't have any money left because these girls were just popping out kids from Sean Kemp and Larry Johnson just to get the bag. And if these guys don't play ball, they get accused of this. It happened to Kobe. And the first thing I do, and clearly Trevor Bauer did it, is tell my PR person to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Because Kobe sat there for months apologizing for something he didn't do.
Right.
And it just made him look worse.
Yeah.
And, and the Trevor Bauer clearly was just like, no, fuck that. I'm not doing this.
Well, it was weird with Kobe too, because he apologized for basically cheating on his wife. You know what I'm saying? Like they were on a whole different thing, and he was like, okay, well, regardless, right? And that was why the scam was so good on Kobe, is because regardless, she's got him, right? As long as he has to admit that he had sex with her and he's married, he's already fucked up, right? So then there's the whole other level to it. So with Kobe's thing was a little bit different.
And there was also there was adultery and the McDonald's money. Like, McDonald's isn't going to give you money if you're cheating on your wife, whether or not it's consensual. So yeah, he did have a lot to lose. But anyway, I love Trevor Bauer's approach, and I just wish more guys would just come out with this approach and
it's
not.
So hard.
It is hard.
It's so hard to, because he looked, dude. He's literally that's the prime of his career.
Yep.
That's 3 years of the prime of his career that he just lost because some chick fucking accused him of doing something. How far does it go where everybody is at risk of getting, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's so fucked up.
And you got to realize, in baseball, that 3 years, less than 1% of baseball players make the Hall of Fame. That 3 years could be the deciding factor as to whether or not he gets his call.
Well, shit. I mean, is the average major league career even 3 years?
Well, no, but that 3 year difference, because let's say he has that 3 year gap now. Let's say he comes back, he does get an MLB deal, whether it's the Cardinals, the Red Sox, the Yankees, whoever, and he pitches for 8 years. Okay, well, he was only up in the majors for 2 years before that, so that's only a 10-year career. And when you're a Hall of Fame voter, you're looking at Trevor Bauer. He's embattled. It was only 10 years. The years of a career can have an impact on somebody getting the call. He's right.
I don't think Trevor Bauer is a Hall of Fame talent, though.
Well, no, but
I get
if he's on the fringe, they'll use that years played as an excuse to not put him in.
Oh, and the fact that he was even accused of it at all. There's already people. That's the worst part of this is there's so many people who are never going to fucking see what we just showed. Okay. Who are never going to know this actual story, who are going to call fucking Trevor Bauer a rapist. How many people do you hear? Well, who is it? Fucking Tyreek Hill. I literally have heard people, Tyreek Hill, still say he fucking beats kids and shit. I've heard people with fucking Kareem Hunt say he fucking beats up women. It's what in the fuck, dude? Do some research.
A perfect example, going away from the sports thing for a second, is Britney Spears. If I acted the way Britney Spears did on camera, my kids would be snatched from me faster than I could get my shirt back on. So there's
Right.
clearly a double standard when it comes to the internet and how people act.
Right.
Right. Well, and like let's even take this a step further. As much as Trevor Bauer is having to struggle with this, imagine if this was an NBA player or any black athlete. Let's go ahead and do it that way. We'll say that if this was a black athlete that this was done to,
Will said shit.
he wouldn't even be
Shit.
playing in an international league like Bauer got to go to Japan. He would be done.
He couldn't go to Rucker Park and play 21.
Exactly. He could not go
to the Rucker and
anywhere.
play 21. He could.
They'd have made him hide. They would have made him hide.
He
Yeah.
would have had to have hide because there were people that would have threatened violence against him, which I'm sure Kareem Hunt got, which I'm sure Tyreek Hill got, and they
Trevor
didn't
Bauer
actually
may
do
have,
anything wrong.
But
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure he got some, but unfortunately, it seems
Not as
like
bad.
when this happens to black athletes, it's even fucking worse, which is,
It is worse.
horrible. But like, there needs to be she should be charged with extortion or something. There
that's
needs
something-
to be a legal precedent set to prevent this shit from happening to professional athletes.
I think it's something that we need to change across the board because these women are not being held accountable for lying. It should be the same sentence as if the man was guilty.
So
The female.
So I think that as much as I don't like some of living in Arizona, there's one, and I've referenced this a few times because I think this is one thing that Arizona gets right in the legal system. If something is declared a statutory rape, where the older person and the younger person were both in the relationship consensually, and the reason that that's a problem is because of the age gap. Both the underage individual, who was a willing participant, and the overage individual, who was a willing participant, both get charged because they both committed a crime. And so if we look at that standard where we're actually punishing the person who did something wrong, not just placating a societal push to make it look like we're doing something,
Right.
then when somebody does this is legally extortion. We need to set the precedents, the legal precedents. This is extortion. That's what it is.
Really do.
And charge these people with extortion, make sure that they do suffer financially, even though, yes, her, the reparation or the amount of money that she ends up having to pay him in consolation for, extortion from the courts is not going to be anywhere near what he lost in legal fees.
she doesn't have any
And-
money.
Yeah,
Right. Because she doesn't have any
Ain't
money.
got no money at
But
all.
she-
Yep.
she's
She
lucky
should have
he's a
to face the court.
she's lucky he's a reasonable guy because if she did this to Michael Jordan would be like, I have more money than God. I'm just gonna bleed you
Dude,
out and make you go bankrupt.
Bro, he
You
would have
wouldn't care if I
he
win.
would have fucking bankrupted her family.
Yeah.
Like,
Everybody.
he would have went after everybody. Like
Everything.
her
Would've been like,
uncle's
I
tractor
own-
dealership would have been at risk.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Shit
The
like that.
AA
Like, they
sponsor
would have.
that didn't the AA sponsor that didn't report this to the authorities because it's clearly fucking extortion. Anybody that knew what was going on and didn't report it would face legal repercussions. And so
I would give AA a pass just to cut you off for 1 second because AA, it's kind of like you're anonymous. It's like a psychiatrist.
Agreed, Ambrose.
You have to have that trust.
Good point.
But-
So,
but also you can, because of the fact that somebody is committing a crime, because and I understand this. I grew up in a family of addicts. I've struggled with addiction myself. My mom had an 8-ball-a-day coke habit and a meth addiction and alcohol issues and walked away from all of it cold turkey. So please understand that my mom is a fucking
pretty good.
warrior. And so I'm not going to minimize or discredit AA because AA does great things. And I want to be clear on that. But when somebody's life is in danger or somebody's entire well-being is in danger and your person is doing something that is completely illegal, you have an ethical and moral obligation
Mm-hmm.
to report that.
Without getting into this too deep, there's so much gray area there, dude. Because in this particular case, like with the extortion thing, like, bro, they are letting the people who are fucking they're literally talking to endanger their lives on a daily basis, like by literally saying like, oh, I relapsed, like, oh, went out and did this. Like those people are endangering their lives. And you know what I'm saying? Like I think there's a lot of gray area there without getting too deep into it. Like,
and that's a very good point because if this AA sponsor was a psychiatrist, they'd pull her license.
Yeah, I agree. They would have done that.
If this AA sponsor was anyone within the medical field, they would have been like, you acted irresponsibly. That's malpractice. Your license is at least suspended.
Are you saying like because she reported it or because she didn't?
No, because she didn't report it and she knew what was going on, and this was like a general issue.
Bro,
Because
that's where I'm saying the
that's
gray area
thing.
is at, though.
Like
You know what
a
I'm saying?
psychiatrist, if this was an actual legal psychiatrist that she was texting with, and they did not report that, that psychiatrist is going to be held legally liable.
Yeah,
By a
because
lot of people, a lot of people would sue that psychiatrist for not reporting.
Because
I think
I'm in
it's only
therapy,
life's
not
in
for
danger
anything
type
this-
shit, dude.
like I'm in therapy, not for anything this crazy, but when you enter therapy, they tell you point blank, if you plan on doing anything
How you
illegal,
doing,
I
bro?
am morally and legally obligated to notify the authorities.
Snowman in the morning. What's
Exactly.
up, man? Good to have you
What's
with
up,
us.
Snowman?
It's anything illegal at all.
If I go in and
Most states, it's anything illegal.
if it's
Yes.
anything illegal, and if
So
I
how do you talk to your therapist?
because here's the thing, if you confess and you say I'm not going to ever do it again, or I have no intention of doing it again, that lets them off the hook.
Right.
But
Really?
if you go in, say you go in and you're getting divorced and you go to your therapist and you're like, I'm just going to go home. And even if you're not going to do it, you just say, I'm going to go home. I'm just going to beat the shit out of my wife and get it over.
Or blow my brains out.
Your therapist is legally obligated to notify the authorities that you are a threat to someone else.
Gotcha.
Exactly. And the thing of it is, and Dan, to further clarify on what you're talking about in those situations, as somebody that's also in therapy every 2 weeks, I don't miss my therapy appointments. When it comes to that kind of a situation, you're talking about the difference, because like if I'm going through let's say I commit a crime, I'm going through a mental health evaluation to figure out if I'm mentally sound to stand trial, and I tell the therapist I did whatever they said I did. That's protected under patient confidentiality. But if I say I didn't do that, but if I get out, I'm gonna go do it.
Okay.
They have
Intent.
to. They legally have to report that.
Okay.
Even if you're like, oh no, I'm joking. Right after you say that,
Glad that's
they
clear.
have to report that. They are legally required to, because if they don't, they can be found liable, and if the act happens, and so they have to in those cases. And that's where my line with this comes in.
It's like the same exact thing. If you've ever seen The Wire, when like Stringer Bell's lawyer is like, this is the part where I leave the room, and he shuts his briefcase and goes. It's the same exact thing. Because if he stays there, you can't practice law.
He's legally liable for it. I got
exactly, because he was present when the illegal activity took place.
Real quick, in closing on the Trevor Bauer thing, guys, I got a question for all of you, and that is, do you even know pain? Do you even know pain? Okay.
Ambrose, go ahead, buddy. You can
yeah.
Do you even know pain?
Damn.
And Will, before we move on to talk about the bracket, any final thoughts?
First of all, we got to get your mom a first generation dad. That's an awesome story. Second, I just think that everyone, not just the dude, everyone needs to be held accountable in cases like this, because there's so many men who commit suicide over some BS. Over shit like this, a man will take his life over BS like this, and it's not fair and it's not right. And
because he sees that there's no way out.
Exactly. And we see all these women up here. Oh, me too. Me too. I'm just as good as a man. Here's the thing that kills me. As men, we take more dangerous jobs. As men, we're more in leadership positions and held accountable for what we do within that
Under
position.
pressure.
And I just think that, yes, me too, fantastic. Woman can do the same thing I do. Great. But we also need to take that to the level of accountability when they mess up with stuff like this. And that's the thing that makes me upset, because these women are not being held accountable for what they do. And they just skate under the bracket. I go through the fullest of the law.
I always wondered about that, like how everyone's like, "Oh, we need more women in the workforce," and they're always talking about like the boardroom. How come like none of them are ever like garbage men or working in an oil field? Like it's always like, no, we need the real jobs where we don't do anything.
The corporate ones where we go to our offices and we wear suits. Those
Yeah.
those are real jobs, guys. Pantsuit
It's-
jobs are real jobs.
You know, and
You don't have a
I-
pantsuit job.
I'm going to close with this. You know, as I've said, there should be penalties for false accusations, but it is still important that we listen to people that are actual victims. And
Yeah.
while we're talking about this, let's make sure that we are taking a second to remember that men are victims of sexual assault too.
Mhm.
Men are statistically more likely for it to not get reported, more likely for it to not get investigated, more likely for there not to be found that the person who assaulted them to be found guilty and do jail time. So while
You ain't gonna tell nobody pussy. That's why. That's for
while
real.
we need to fix what's going on to the female victims, we also need to understand that under that is a bigger problem with male victims of sexual assault. And if you want to challenge me on that, I'll tell you my story about the number of times that I have been discredited from my experiences of being a victim of sexual assault.
Can't imagine.
I'll be happy to talk about it.
No.
And so let's make sure that we are, and this is why, again, I am fervently against trying anybody in the court of public opinion until all the legal cases are done and all the actual facts are known, because it happens so fucking often that an individual, typically male, is made to look guilty when they didn't actually do anything wrong. Or let's look at how Monica Lewinsky, let's take it back, how Monica Lewinsky was roasted in the media, despite the fact that she was a victim of all of the bullshit she was being fed by Bill Clinton. But she was tried, convicted, and completely roasted in the fucking media before the cum was dry on her shirt.
And still being roasted to this day.
And still being roasted to this day.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's I don't want to say her name because I want to stay alive, but that's that lady that was in the White House with Bill.
Yes, Monica. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
But
if
everybody
I ever
knows
end
who
up
we're
with friends
talking
of,
about.
Exactly.
yeah.
Secret
it's
Service.
fucking
Now I'm looking out my window.
Okay. All right.
My camera's
It's like
off,
that
right?
Family
Oh,
Guy,
shit.
the Family Guy episode where Meg goes to Russia, and anytime she says something about president, she's hit with a dart in the neck,
Yes,
gets knocked
guys.
out. Oh, God.
Guys, just email me later about it. We'll talk. Oh, never mind. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that either. Don't do that either. That sounds bad. That sounds bad. Abort.
Okay, so now let's get to something that's a little bit happier of a topic. We have the playoff bracket for the MLB postseason. Top seed in the AFC went to the Baltimore Orioles, something that very few people expected.
They'll blow it.
Unbelievable.
Second best
agree with
record in
that,
the
bro.
league. One of the best records that in their franchise history at 101-61.
Pigeons.
Astros finished second in the AL with a record of 90-72, narrowly beating out the Rangers. I think that came down to the last day. And then third was where did it go?
I think it's Tampa.
Yeah,
No.
Tampa Bay. Or no,
Well, third is Minnesota.
Third is Minnesota. They finished with a record of 87-75. Minnesota will be a first round exit. I'm just going to say that now.
Of course,
Tampa
it's
was
an
a
election
close
year and
fourth.
it's Toronto. Toronto
Tampa
in an
was-
election year, always bet on Toronto to go to the playoffs.
Always. The Rangers fifth 90-72 record and sixth place team. I predicted this at the beginning of the fucking season. Or wait, no. Hold on. That's the American League. Sixth place in the AL went to Tampa. Now on the NL side, Atlanta obviously finished first, record 104-58, best record in the league. Dodgers was second. Brewers at third. And then you had the Phillies at fourth. I still think it's funny that Bryce Harper got fined for that helmet toss after that horrible fucking Angel Hernandez call. And Marlins at fifth. And the D-backs, who I said at the beginning of the year were a fucking playoff team, and a lot of people were thinking I was crazy. The D-backs are the sixth seed in the National League.
You gave them last year Seattle Mariners status, which not quite, but could be.
Close.
Close.
Still yet to see.
It was close. Mm-hmm.
I think they're more. I think Arizona's the plus side of Arizona is their pitching is more of a focal, is more the center of what they're doing in the offense that we got from the Mariners. Because there's a lot of young talent on the mound in Arizona. and I will say that with very honest. Their offense is not bad, but their pitching is what has gotten them as far as it has.
I'd rather see that team than a real Diamondback. You know what I'm saying?
So are
For
all
sure.
are all 5 of Miami's fans happy that their team is in the playoffs? Or
I don't think they know.
They might not know for real.
I don't think they know. They're probably all still at the factory. They all working together.
Well, they're too busy leasing out Lamborghinis and wearing bikinis. I don't really know what they do in Miami, but there's no actual real things done there. It's just basically all a show, and everything's made out of concrete. And then there's it's like concrete beach, and then like you just do things between the concrete and the beach, and there's nothing else really in between it. I don't think anything's actually made there. There's definitely nothing made there. It's a bunch of beautiful people.
yeah, like I've been to both cities, and like St. Petersburg is like an actual like city.
Right.
Like there's people that are going to work, and then you go to Miami, and it's like permanent spring break.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's like that. It's like that little bit of time right before you're about off vacation. Like where you're just trying to fit in everything in one day.
Yeah.
So early predictions. Who do you guys have in the ALCS and the NLCS? Ambrose, I'll start with you.
Looking at it, I'm going to say Milwaukee surprises people. Goes to the NLCS against the Braves.
Council.
And the ALCS, I think Baltimore is going to blow it. Whenever Tampa Bay makes the playoffs, they're lethal. So I'm going to put Tampa Bay there, and I'm going to put them against Houston.
Okay. Tampa's pitching to me is a little bit because McClanahan's still gone for the playoffs, right? McClanahan's not going to be back. So their pitching is a little bit diluted. If they were full strength, then I'm totally with you there, Ambrose. I actually think the Baltimore Orioles are going to make the ALCS. I think that I think that they're going to go to the ALCS. They're solid enough to be in an ALCS. I mean, because the Yankees made an ALCS last year and we were garbage. So, I mean, honestly, like I think Baltimore can make an ALCS, and I think it's going to be. I mean, God forbid it's going to be in Houston.
When did Baltimore fire Buck Showalter?
I'm not exactly sure.
2 years ago.
Because it's 2 years ago. Oh, they might make the World Series then.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the things that I factored in because I have, I've got the ALCS as the Orioles and Toronto, and then the NLCS is the Braves and the Dodgers because I have the Dodgers taking out the D-backs in the NLDS.
Bro, Toronto has the talent. Okay, the talent is on that roster. It's just it is the playoffs, so hopefully Toronto can like fucking focus. But like, if you watch any of their games this year, dude, it is the weirdest thing ever. Like, sometimes they're paying attention and sometimes they're not. Like, it's like a bunch of fucking kids. It's like a little league team that all play in the pros, but they're all just super talented. They have a bunch of talent, and I hope Matt Chapman kind of reined that in a little bit. Alek Manoah is having a fucking terrible year, right?
Oh yes,
and like what a weird year for them to be in it. But like, if they can get serious, they have the most talent probably in the AL. Honestly, that's might be the most talented roster in the American League. Dalton Varshaw's coming on hot. I mean, former Diamondback. Matt Chapman at third. I mean, dude, they're loaded. And obviously, you have the fucking Gold Glove winner, Vlad Guerrero Jr. I'm gonna say that again. The Golden Glove 2022 winner, Vlad Guerrero Jr., who totally deserved that Golden Glove, guys, last year. You know what? He fucking dove for every ball that he fielded. So, yes, that eye test says give Vlad Guerrero Jr. that Golden Glove.
I mean,
fucking unbelievable.
The thing that really, is sad about the Orioles, though, is their fan base is so dejected. It's like they won 101 games and got the number 1 seed. And the biggest news down here in Maryland is that we re-signed our lease. Like, we're not moving, guys.
Right. They're like holding on, like, because they're the Pigeons, dude. They're like they're free. They're pigeons for free, and they're holding they want to go somewhere because they need to. It's very strange.
It's like I'm still not going to your games. I'll go to DC.
Adley Rutschman is the real fucking deal.
Guys remember,
absolutely.
You guys,
Gunnar Henderson's the real deal.
You remember back in the day when they were going to World Series, NLCS Championship Series, and the fans didn't give a damn. Y'all remember those days?
How about the Marlins, man?
Yeah, same. Yeah,
Marlins won the 2004 title and moved what 2 years later? 3 years later. I mean, it's right there. I mean, the Royals are about to be the old Oklahoma City Royals, I think.
No, they're getting a new stadium.
Dude, I was just there. I was just there Friday. They don't fucking need a new stadium. That place is fucking beautiful. It is beautiful. It's a great venue for baseball.
Don't they have a place to play already?
It's the location.
And Ambrose is right, because dude, you and I both know, because a lot of a lot of MLB teams are moving downtown. And it's that thing that we've talked about with the economic. It's easier for baseball to have a bigger economic impact on the market that they're in if their stadium is downtown.
True.
And it's also with these older stadiums. The problem is they don't care about us. People like us love Kauffman Stadium, but I guarantee if you go in there, it's like when the commissioner talked to Milwaukee about their upgrades needed. He's talking about luxury boxes.
Right.
The luxury boxes in the club level is where the money at. And when that stadium was built, and I want to say Kauffman Stadium goes back to 1972 or 73.
Yeah.
And they weren't thinking about luxury boxes back then. And
hardly any. There's hardly any. There's a club, Diamond Club level that's not even enclosed. But what a fucking venue, man. Just a classic, awesome venue. The fountains are beautiful. All right. That team lost 106 games this year. Not great. I mean, Bobby Witt went 30-49. He
Bobby
went 30-30.
is fucking special. Oh my God.
He went 30-40 in front of me. All right. And I was like, fuck yeah, I had a Yankees jersey on and everything, standing up, clapping for that motherfucker. He put on a show on Friday. And Carlos Rodon, Carlos Rodon looked really sharp, guys. He looked fucking sharp. And he looked every bit worth $162 million. I'll tell you that much. Didn't get a fucking out.
I think that Carlos Rodon would have done much better in that where he gave up 8 runs and 0 outs. I think Carlos Rodon would have done better if somebody told him he wasn't throwing batting practice, he was pitching in a real game.
If he was a pitching machine, he would have gotten out. Literally a pitching machine. He would have gotten out, dude. Let me ask you it was terrible. He throws right-handed, he fucking gets an out.
Let me ask you guys a question. Realistically, can any of these teams out here touch the Braves?
Anything's possible, man. Anything's possible.
It's the playoffs.
Anything is possible. And I'm going to cite, I'm even one of the weaknesses that I fear for the Braves. I'm actually going to talk about a player that I fucking love on the Braves, Spencer Strider. Spencer Strider, who through most of the season looks like he should be the NL Cy Young Award winner. Wasn't just pushed out of a great pedophile mustache. I mean, one for the books.
It's more like a Doc Holliday mustache, but yeah.
But Spencer Strider fell apart after the break. Okay, and he had a few outings where he gave up a lot of runs, and some of those outings have been recently. I'm not going to say every outing was bad, but there were more bad than good since the break. If Spencer Strider doesn't get it together, they have a 4-man rotation. They have to get Spencer Strider on point so that they can use that rotation to their advantage, because otherwise you're going to end up having at least one bullpen day per series that's going to wear out your pitching staff that much more. If you can stick with a solid 4-man rotation where everybody's performing, the Braves will win the World Series. But if Spencer Strider doesn't get together, the Braves will not win the World Series. And I'm going to say that it is going to hands on his performance.
Can I just say something to Spencer real quick? Spencer, if you're watching, get that needle back out, okay? The one that you were using at the beginning of the year. Fill that fucking thing with whatever you were filling it with.
Or sit on it like Rafael Palmeiro did. Just sit on it.
Put that shit accidentally while you're naked in the clubhouse. Put that shit back in your thigh, okay? It's all right. Everybody knows. It's really noticeable. You're fucking gigantic. Nobody cares. Okay.
Here's another thing. Figure out what sticky stuff Garrett Cole is now using that he can get away with and start
Jesus
using
fuck.
that.
Jesus fuck.
Come on. You knew I had to.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, dude, Garrett Cole is a serial killer, bro. Garrett Cole has killed at least 4 or 5 people. Like, I'm not joking. I know for a fact that Garrett Cole has killed at least 4 or 5 people, dude. He's that cerebral. Like, when he goes home, like I think they just plug him into a wall, and he just like a fucking iPhone. He's just like a big iPhone, like a big lightning charger.
That's what I used to think about Jason Giambi.
Oh God,
I was like, that man is not human. That man is a robot.
He didn't look human though.
Like he looked like a lizard person.
Yeah.
So, but let's talk. 2 Yankees fans here. Let's talk about it because yes, I'm an objective enough fan that I can talk about the Yankees without being a dick about it. But you guys, as fans, I think this is an interesting. There's an interesting thing we can talk about this because the Yankees season on
paper. What Ambrose has to say. Actually.
The Yankees season on paper should have been far better than what it was. Now, yes, obviously you didn't end up in the bottom of the division. Boston took that mantle again because we're nice like that. So we deserve a thank you.
We still had a winning season, which is not
still had
okay
a winning season, right? But you know, and arguably, possibly even better than some of the other teams that were in wild card contention. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So. You know, but you also had some of the strangest fucking storylines this year. Like, what was that? Domingo Germán throwing a drunk perfect game.
Hilarious and awesome, but also weird. Yes.
Like, I mean, the Yankees season was just fucking weird. Like, I mean, where do you guys sit? Is there anything you take away? Like, do you want to see Cashman fired? Is it time for Boone to go? What do you guys see out of this even? Ambrose, we'll let you kick this off first.
Yeah, you know. I grew up in a time where like New York baseball was at an all-time low. I was born in '84. The Mets won in '86, and then after that, it went all downhill.
Yeah.
You know, I remember like New York. Pat Kelly was our second baseman. Then we signed Danny.
I was just gonna say that. I've heard you say Pat Kelly before. Like,
and then
it's not a good thing.
We signed Danny Tartable, and then like I remember, I think like
huge
Andy Stankiewicz was like our best player.
Huge signing.
But then, like, you know, after
Don Baylor,
after Paul O'Neill came to the Reds, came over from the Reds, and everyone was like, "Who's this guy? Why would the Yankees get Paul O'Neill? Paul O'Neill's junk." And
you draft number 2.
We draft number 2. 94 was a wash. They were probably going to go in 94. They got knocked out in 95. They weren't ready. Showalter gets fired. We win the World Series in 96.
Timeline matches up.
So I've seen it before. I think it's telling when you're a fan of a team like the Yankees, when the fans enjoy watching your team lose more than they enjoy watching their team win. Like, I live 30 miles outside of Baltimore, and all the fans can talk about is how much the Yankees suck. And it's like, dude, your team just won 101 games. Like, why aren't you talking about that?
You're the number one
seed. And that's fucking stupid. Like, I'm sorry, but even as a Red Sox fan, which, you know, I'm a firm believer, you know, the one time my son's allowed to say fuck without question, regardless of where we are, is when it's followed by the Yankees. But, like, come on. You got, like, your team won 101 games. Talk about the amazingness of that Baltimore roster. Like, that's bullshit.
And I feel a sense of pride in that. It's like, you should hate the team I root for more than you like your own team.
So much. The Cowboys get that a lot. I went off last week about people overly hating the Cowboys. I'm like, you guys need to fucking relax. I'm like, you guys are putting a lot of fucking energy into hating the Cowboys, dude. Like, come on. Like, yes, I don't like the Cowboys more than anybody else does, but like, you're putting a lot of energy into hating the Cowboys, which kind of means that you might be secretly in love with the Cowboys. Which is what I think about everybody who fucking hates the Yankees.
I don't have an opinion on the Cowboys. I just think the Cowboys have the funniest memes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The funniest what?
Memes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The meme game is strong in Dallas.
I like the like, and don't get me wrong, like I'll crack a joke on the Cowboys every now and then, but like I remember watching the Cowboys in the fucking powerhouse teams that Dallas churned out. I remember the fact that one of the reasons that I still have a deep love for football was because I had season tickets to the Arizona Rattlers Arena football team that were coached by former Cowboy player Danny White, and that's actually how I've gotten to meet Roger Staubach in person, because Staubach came out every once in a while.
Do you think secretly Jerry Jones sent Herschel Walker a Super Bowl ring?
How could he not have? He had
Yeah.
to. He fucking had to.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. All right,
Like,
I mean-
come on.
I mean,
All
those,
right, yes.
those Cowboys teams, like, they kept Pablo Escobar in power through all of. I mean, like a lot of Pablo Escobar's wealth, all right, came from guys like Michael Irvin. Okay,
damn.
I've done cocaine with Michael Irvin. It's not any fun because you don't get any cocaine. Okay,
Cowboys will take their
but-
place in greatness once again.
So we'll close with this before we transition onto football, and I know we want to talk those NBA trades too. Okay, so they're a lot of trading with the Yankees as far as firing Cashman or Boone. Dan and Ambrose, I'll let you guys just real quick. Do you think either one of them should be fired? If so, who?
I don't think Boone should be fired because Boone is a good manager. Cashman, I'm kind of on the fence on because now problem with Cashman is he doesn't know how to build a team. He knows how to field a team. Like this is
$5 billion since he took over as GM. Outside of that, the
he knows
World
how
Series they won right after he took over. He spent $5 billion and only won one ring.
he knows how to write a check.
yes,
And I think he did a lot. He got a lot of rings. I think they need to move on from him because the guy he took over because, Steinbrenner had that love-hate relationship with Gene Michael in the 90s and early 2000s.
Right.
Gene Michael actually knew baseball. Gene Michael could tell you your team was going to win just by looking at who you had on a piece of paper. And Cashman does not. He knows how to write a check, but I don't know if they need to get a guy in right now that can build a team and stock their farm system because the Yankees traded away their whole farm system. They need to get guys in the farm and they need to build their team like they did in the 90s.
so I agree with dude. Seeing Aaron Boone, like I've seen Aaron Boone walk out to the mound, okay, and then I saw Aaron Boone walk out to the mound on Friday. And that's too much swagger to be firing. All right. That motherfucker must have a fucking 10-inch dick. Not lying to you. Like he walks like there ain't nothing wrong ever. He's walking out to get the ball from Rodon. And he's just got that. He's got his hip bouncing and everything. Fantastic. I filmed the whole thing. I think I sent it to you guys. But yeah, dude, I think fucking Aaron Boone's awesome, dude. I love Aaron Boone. I want to keep Aaron Boone there. They're probably going to fire. I think they're probably going to fire Aaron Boone, dude. And dude,
if he gets
Brian
fired,
Cashman-
that's going to be a huge mistake because he's going to go somewhere and he's going to win.
yes,
Yep.
like dude, Brian Cashman fucking okay. I love Giancarlo Stanton, but that's a move that I would have made. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I would have gave Giancarlo Stanton $300 million, like because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like I'm not a fucking major league GM. I love Giancarlo Stanton. I'd been like, oh, look at that motherfucker. Out there belting home runs. Like, I want that guy for $300 million. He was not worth that amount of money. Fucking Josh Donaldson. His quote about Josh Donaldson and Gio Urshela, he literally said, well, Gio Urshela did a good job for us, but he's no Josh Donaldson. Oh, really? Oh, really? Josh Donaldson faked a fucking injury this year, dude. No joke. Faked a fucking injury running to first base so that he could stop playing because he was playing so terrible, dude. Couldn't get it up to a fastball. He just faked it. So, like, he doesn't know what he's taught. He doesn't know what he's doing. He knows how to write checks. He knows, like, guys that were good, he thinks are just going to continue being good. There's no fucking thought process to it at all. Jason Dominguez is a huge deal. He didn't trade Jason Dominguez. I love that. Jason Dominguez is fucking really good. Okay, Jason Dominguez is going to be really good for a long time. I like that whole thing. But Ambrose is right. The farm system is basically fuckered at this point. We're top heavy. We don't have a whole lot of depth. There's Spencer Jones is down there. That 6'7" left-handed dude who looks like kind of like Aaron Judge. Maybe he's good. I don't fucking know. They're pitching. I I don't know.
And
Randy Vasquez is fucking good. Okay, but I mean, yeah.
the best Yankee teams, I'll close on this, are always the ones that didn't have too many superstars. Like, look at that 98 team. That 98
Vic.
team had Tino Martinez, it had Scott Boras.
Vic.
I think Soriano was a young guy on second base.
Mariano was on that team, but like he's a closer. So
Mariano Rivera actually started off as a starter, and then they moved him to the bullpen.
Yeah.
right.
You know, so and then they got rid of Boris, they got rid of Martinez, and they brought in the superstars, and it fell apart. You
Right,
know,
not a superstar.
Giambi, they replaced Tino Martinez with Jason Giambi after all the hell the fans put him through after he replaced Don Mattingly, and then they ship him out and replace him with Jason Giambi.
Amber, who's the only guy who they've basically so they've gotten basically their money's worth out of two dudes in the last 25 years. And it's fucking it's Alex Rodriguez probably got their money's worth, okay? I mean, because that's actually questionable. But fucking Mark Teixeira and Alex Rodriguez.
I'd say they got their money's worth out of Mike Messina. He consistently won.
Yeah, I'll give him.
Did they pay Mike Messina that much money though?
No.
Oh yeah, because Baltimore.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Baltimore. No, they paid him enough because what happened was he was in a contract negotiation with Baltimore, and Baltimore has this weird thing where they expect you to want to play in Baltimore, and they will not pay you. Like it's fucking strange. Like they'll be like they went to Mark Teixeira and they're like, home team discount, $45 million. And he was like, I can live in New York City and they're gonna give me $200 million. So fuck you.
It's like they're doing what the Yankees do. It's like we just expect him to want to play in New York.
Yep.
And they did that to Messina, and New York was like, no, come here, come play for us.
Yeah.
If New York is smart, they're gonna fire Cashman. Outside of that 98 World Series, that was less about what Cashman had built and more about what the previous GM had built. They've won one World Series off of about $5 billion in money, of Steinbrenner's money that Cashman has spent. And he's gotten a few small hits and a couple of big ones, but there is not enough consistency to warrant him having a job this long with the results that he's had.
Ridiculous.
He got the benefit. I'm sorry to cut you off, man. He got the benefit of the doubt because you knew George was telling him what to do the first couple of years. George died. He got his shot, and it hasn't been paying off.
No, and I'll say this: you and what's crazy for the Yankees is the Yankees should fire Cashman and hire Chaim Bloom, because Chaim Bloom did exactly in Boston what he was supposed to do. He rebuilt the farm system and balanced the budget. And that's exactly where New York needs right now. So, and I'm not saying you trade away Aaron Judge to accomplish this. It's not going to be a one-year thing. But if you bring Chaim in, give him a little bit more room to work than John Henry gave Chaim Bloom, because obviously it's New York and you're going to spend a little bit more money than Boston did. But the focus should be about rebuilding that farm system and bringing some youth and talent back into that roster, and not just a bunch of power hitters. And you will find New York will end up in a better place, even if it takes a few years to get there.
And you know what? I hate to even say it. I really hate to even say it, but lure Theo Epstein there. Theo Epstein wins everywhere he goes.
Boston is. I think Boston's going to be trying to get Theo Epstein real hard, fucking hard.
Last thing, guys. Can I just say last thing real quick, Will?
Yeah.
You know what?
Sorry, this went on as long as it did.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm gonna give Cashman credit. Okay, it looks like he made a fucking great deal with Carlos Rodon. Okay, it looks like everything is working out as far as that deal goes with Carlos Rodon, because $162 million, he shouldn't get it out of the first inning. He shouldn't be able to get it out in the first inning against the Royals. Okay, that's what should happen.
All right.
Good job, Cashman.
All right, again, Dan.
It's looking good.
All right, we need to move on to the world of the NBA. We have
some
trades happen. So let's go ahead and bring up the hardwood. We have to give the Portland Trail Blazers a lot of credit, because look at what they did with Lillard going over to the Bucks. Then you got Drew, flipped him, and now you got your little bit of a young squad over there. And Boston is better. Should compete with Drew because he brings you the defense you lose with Smart. And Damian Lillard gives the Bucks another superstar to pounce off of. So I'll start
That
with
takes
you,
some
Dan,
heat
then
off
I'll go with-
Giannis.
So I'll start with Dan. Yep. Then I'll start with Dan,
Yeah.
and then I'll go with 7. Then we'll go to Ambrose if he wants to chime in. What do you think about these trades, Dan?
Both teams got what they needed at the time, and that is Portland was just in between, and they were fucking neither hot nor cold. They were lukewarm. So they needed to make obvious. They were obviously going to be in the real. Dame didn't want to be there, and they got a fucking lot for 32-year-old Damian Lillard. Let's just say that. And then the Bucks on the other side of it got the perfect piece. I mean, the Bucks are the favorite to win the NBA championship over the Phoenix Suns next year, just because of that. I feel like Giannis inside that offense, like now. So the problem with Giannis in the playoffs was that he's not a guy who you throw the ball to and go get us a bucket with 38 seconds left. Go get us a bucket at the end of the game. That's not Giannis. Giannis dominates the rest of the game. Giannis dominates all 47 minutes before the last minute. And then the fact is he can't really get his own shot when everybody's looking at him because that's not his game. All right. And it's the perfect piece to go in Milwaukee. So I actually like the deal for Milwaukee better because Milwaukee gave up a lot, but like Milwaukee's fucking all in right now. Like this is primetime Giannis. This is still primetime Dame. Like I like the deal better for Milwaukee, but fucking Portland did a great job. They got a really good haul for because basically you trade away Drew as well. Because he's the same type of guy, right? And he can help somebody else right now.
Mhm.
Like you're looking down the road. Portland for the future did a fucking great job. So like everybody did a good job in the trade. But I really like what Milwaukee did just because of that one factor. Like that was always the problem with Milwaukee, dude. It was like, so we give it to Chris Middleton, right? At the end of the game, like we don't give it to Chris Middleton. All right. We don't give it to shorter, non-cocaine snorting Lamar Odom. We don't give it to that guy.
I do credit the fact that Dan, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I do credit the fact that they didn't have to give him up.
No.
This is the one thing I thought was awesome, that they didn't have to give up Chris Middleton in this trade. I thought that was kind of awesome.
Right, they kept basically that entire core outside of Drew Holiday,
basically. Mm-hmm.
Who Drew has replacements there, dude. Like Dante DiVincenzo is still there. I mean, like he's got replacements in Milwaukee. They're deep in Milwaukee. Like they have enough.
And that's still a big team.
Oh yeah, they're I mean long, like just super athletic. You know who like they're like for all the white guys, dude is what's his name? I can never think of his name for some reason. You know what I'm talking about?
Philly.
Small forward.
Tyler Hero.
No, Milwaukee. Dude, why can I never think of this dude's name? Anyway,
because
you know what I'm talking about? Really good athlete. Wears the tall socks. God damn it! Anyway, that dude.
Larry Bird.
No. I said good athlete, Ambrose. I said good athlete. No, it's a Larry Bird. It's a Larry Bird. His site's based on movement. What does he eat? Oh, just whatever's in the airport bar.
He was. I don't care what anyone says. Larry was the best trash talker in the history of the NBA.
Well, obviously, he's a white guy from Indiana, dude.
Where he's going up.
I'm pretty sure, dude. I'm pretty sure Larry had inward status with those guys.
No. Seriously, he had Rodman.
They said that.
He'd be like, Chuck, you got anybody guarding me? Chuck, come on, Chuck. Just talking.
Oh my God.
The coach.
White man.
It's fantastic. Like it's fantastic. But yeah, he was. Let
me ask you this: Drew Holiday to the Celtics, Dan.
Dude, I can't stomach the Celtics. Like I need one of them to be weird, dude. Like I have a problem with all of them just being so like weirdly clean cut, and like Jason Tatum is about as fucking entertaining as an STD. Let's be honest. Like the most entertaining thing about that dude is that his kid seems to just have freedom to fucking just run on the court at any time that his kid wants to. His fat little kid, right? Like just has fucking freedom to just like run on the court. That's like the most interesting fucking thing about that guy. Like, I don't know, dude. And Jaylen Brown gets the max extension, and he's like, I'm just gonna help the community. I'm like, somebody go out and do some fucking cocaine in Boston. God damn it. Those are the teams that win, guys. Those are the teams that win. The cocaine-ridden ones. Look at the Cowboys. But yeah, I don't know. It's fucking, I don't know. It's Boston, dude. I just don't think.
I honestly, I was extremely intrigued by how the Suns came out of the whole situation, because you part ways with DeAndre Ayton, who has talent as a ball player, but he's malcontent, cancer in the locker room.
Terrible
Phoenix.
fit for that team, honestly.
Just, not a good fit. But you get back a solid Yusuf Nurkic and some depth for the bench.
But Nurkic isn't what he used to be, but he's still
he will be great for that locker room. And I think that's going to be the big difference is you're going to remove, because DA's presence in the locker room was contentious.
Right.
Yusuf's going to be that guy that's joking with everybody. Where are we going out to eat after? I got the first round at the bar. That's the type of guy Phoenix needs right now, because you've got Devin Booker and Kevin fucking Durant. And
Bradley Beal.
And Bradley Beal. You don't need a DA type guy on that roster. You need a Yusuf Nurkic guy to help keep the flow in that locker room the way that you want it. And especially with the type of culture that Matt Ishbia is trying to build in Phoenix, and the amazing things that Matt is doing, like putting the team's games on a broadcast TV rather than cable so that everybody has access to it, and then buying people TV antennas if they don't have one so they can watch it for free.
Damn.
Like,
I didn't hear about that.
And Matt Ishbia is doing some shit in Phoenix, and I respect the hell out of the guy. So
he's very progressive.
And I feel like the Boston is building up to continue to fight Embiid. That's why when Embiid came back from his first thing was wild, the offseason was wild. Yeah, a lot of teams built up because they know they're going to have to fucking face you. But ultimately, we know Philly's not going to be what everybody pretends it is, because Embiid's not what he used to be. He's still great, but I don't think Philly's going to be
MVP last year.
Right.
He's in his prime. But I mean, Embiid is so good, he almost limits the Philadelphia 76ers. Okay. He almost limits them in what they can do, because within an Embiid offense, there's only so much that can be done. Does that make sense? Like he's MVP talent, but he actually restricts any offense because he's a big who handles the ball a lot and also shoots 25 times a game. And the most important thing that Phoenix got out of this deal, Tony, is Yusuf Nurkic is a kick shooter big. He's a wing big who they can kick it to. Like Ayton played a lot in the post. Ayton played a lot in transition. Like he was a great transition player. He's a great post rebounder sort of deal, but like he couldn't figure out if he wanted to be fucking a 21-foot jump shooter or a fucking big most of the time. Yusuf Nurkic knows exactly what he's going to be in that offense. He's going to be, I'm going to pop out real quick and I'm going to shoot this wide open J because I got Bradley Beal, or fucking Kevin Durant kicking it to me. So like that's
right. And the other problem with DA in Phoenix, and I hope that DA can work on this, because I have a DeAndre Ayton Suns jersey. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm just going to hang it up.
Shit, I forgot I got you that one.
Well, now we need to find a KD Suns jersey, but I want that City Connect jersey with the teal and shit. That's
how stuck on are those numbers? Can we just unsew them from the no?
But for me, it's I hope that DA can work on his physicality, because that's the reason that he couldn't be what Phoenix needed him to be, is because he's not a physical big. And with the scheme that they were running with DA, they needed him to be more physical, and he just wasn't.
Right.
He's such a freak too, dude. He's strong enough to be physical. That's the weird part.
And that's but the other thing is you're not going to have the distraction in the locker room about is he going to be physical or isn't he? Because like you said, with Yusuf Nurkic, you know what you're going to get. You know what to use. You know how to screen it. You know how to scheme him. everything, and this is why the trade is so good for Phoenix, plus the fact that their biggest issue last year was a lack of depth. They added some depth pieces that'll come in off the bench and give the ability for Yusuf, Beal, KD, and Booker to take a fucking break.
I mean, they're not going to be able to deal with the Lakers, but that's just, that's how it is.
All they have to do is cough on LeBron, and
everyone's going to let me.
Everyone's
going to let me fucking buy with that comment. Everyone's going to let me buy. Okay, good.
I did not. I said he's gonna get coughed on and flop down and miss 10 games.
Yeah, I didn't listen.
I didn't have to say anything because LeBron caught a cramp the minute you said that and had to leave the game.
Will's letting me buy with this.
LeBron caught a cramp and also got fouled at the same time from the guy that was 100 feet away from him.
I've said it on every show.
He flopped like a soccer player
in
the middle of the court.
But here's the thing, those guys, back to the NBA for a quick second. That East is freaking loaded. When's the last time we seen the East this loaded? I mean, yeah, you look at Milwaukee and Boston, but the Cavs are going to be better. We'll see what the Knicks do.
The East still not as good as the West loaded?
It's loaded, but it's better than
it never is.
Years.
It's better than it was last season. That's for sure.
Last year, I feel. Yeah, I think it's.
I think that
last year.
There's more of a balance in talent. Yes, the West is still the more talented division. I'm not gonna disagree with Dan on that. That's stupid, but there is a closer balance to talent in the East than there. As far as East to West, there is a closer balance of talent than there was last season.
I keep seeing these Anthony Davis mock trades. I keep seeing them and thinking they're real, dude.
Nobody wants.
I keep seeing them and dreaming that they're real, and I'm like,
nobody want Mr. Glass.
Yes.
Do nobody want Mr. Glass?
Anthony Davis always looks surprised.
He does.
He always looks like he's just happy to be here, guys.
I'm happy to be here, yo.
That's because he expects to get injured so frequently. He's surprised he's able to play.
Well, I mean, he just doesn't want to play. That's the whole thing. He got a lot of money, dude. Why would he want to play? Let LeBron drag us to the playoffs, and then I guess I'll fucking play.
So the thing is can the Lakers and the Pelicans just save money on a suite and put AD and Zion in the same suite when they play next year? Since we both know that neither one of those motherfuckers are going to be playing.
Please don't condemn Zion Williamson into that life.
Just call them the team that used to be the Hornets. I can't take a team called the Pelicans seriously.
Right. Yeah. Fly Pelican. I think of that Scarface part every time where he's in a hot tub in front of the TV. He's like, look at the Pelicans. He's like, fly Pelican. I think about it every time.
Y'all leave Pelicans alone. They are great. Great animals.
They are. They're very majestic. Very
majestic birds with fish flopping around in their double chins.
Yes.
You're just trying to stay on Jen Hale's good side.
They look like
I'm trying to say on her good side. Hell yeah.
They look like Domingo Hermans with that big dip in their mouth, except for not as drunk.
They kind of look like if you ask my 3-year-old to draw a duck.
Yes.
And that's what a pelican looks like.
The thing that gets me with Jen, she's pretty as I don't know what, but she's small and teeny tiny.
Who?
You can fit her in an overhead storage bin on. You can fit her on an overhead storage bin on the plane. I'm gonna say
what, my kid?
No, Jen
Hale. Yes, definitely your kid too.
Definitely.
Remember, I feel like you've tried that. Just for a free ticket, you're like, maybe.
Honey,
just have her head sticking out of my backpack.
Yes. Maybe.
You can fly for
Get on there. Get in there.
Hi.
Get in there. We're going through TSA.
Popping out the bag. Where you come from?
Sir, is your bag alive? Yes. No.
It's banging.
A vibrator.
But again, I think these trades are good. I don't think trade season is over quite yet because we've still got to see what Philly's going to do with James Harden. So
can we just call out fucking Jabari fucking what the fuck ever his name is at this point? Did you see that shit? Fucking good God. What's his name so I get it right? This is how fucking terrible this guy is. I can't even fucking remember his name. Jabari fucking whatever from fucking he went to I don't even know where he went to school. Listen to this. I can't even fucking bring it up. Will, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Who is it? What's his name? Jabari Parker. There you go. Sorry, went to Duke. Yeah.
Yeah, Jabari Parker, yeah.
Jabari Parker played for Mike Krzyzewski. That's the only thing that makes him significant. He literally was talking about how why he left the NBA because there's like too much player movement and like all this stuff. And he basically is just he's telling a narrative that somebody else told him because that's why they told him he didn't play in the NBA anymore.
Mhm.
And it's actually because he wasn't fucking good enough to play in the NBA anymore.
He was trash.
And that's really what it really was. And like he's out there going, "Oh well, somebody regurgitated a lot of nonsense to me, and I believed every word of it, and now I'm gonna tell you about it." And it's like, shut the fuck up, Jabari Parker. You played at Duke, okay? You did an all right job. I think you won a national title. That was your fucking peak. Like you never were good in the NBA. Like the reason you're not in the NBA is because you weren't good enough to play in the NBA. You'd be right there in all the fucking middle of the player movement and all this fucking free agent signing and all this shit you were complaining about. If you were good enough to play, dude, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
That's why Duke is a good college team, but very rarely. What was the last Duke player to break through in the NBA?
Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum. Oh yeah.
There's been a lot, dude. They put out fucking.
I mean,
people
but they
all the
don't. They don't as many other people because Krzyzewski. One, you got to be academically you got to be. It's for all intents and purposes an Ivy League school. So
it absolutely is.
And
yeah.
So Krzyzewski would take what he did and he'd incorporate a system and he won with it. But a lot of these guys aren't NBA material. Like Leitner was an NBA material.
Absolutely not. Well, he was white, Ambrose. Let's be completely honest off top. That's already a big disadvantage.
But I still say Christian Laettner did not deserve to be on that dream team.
Christian Laettner was on that dream team because of his Duke days. He was
Christian Laettner was on that dream team because I think the rule at the time was you had to have one college kid.
It should have been Shaq.
Right. Yeah, like why the fuck? Whereas they didn't think about Shaquille O'Neal.
He hardly played.
No, I could guarantee you it was because Michael Jordan didn't want a college kid showing him up.
Could have been it.
Also, that and like who,
come on now.
Like Isaiah, Michael Jordan said no. Michael Jordan can deny it all he wants. We know Isaiah wasn't on that dream team because of Michael Jordan.
Ambrose, real quick, because I know that you don't keep real close attention to the NBA. I want you to name somebody for me because we've talked about this before. Name the number one American-born NBA player right now. American-born. Best one.
You're putting me to the test.
LeBron.
I don't know. Kevin Durant.
One eternity later.
It's a good one. I mean, that's pretty much that is. I mean, that would be the answer, right? I don't think there's like it's him, John Morant. Yeah, okay. I should have said a young, like not already established NBA player, like a younger guy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like a younger guy who's like up and coming, who's going to be in the league for 10 more years.
I don't really. I don't contribute
Job
much.
Booker.
Dude, it's because there isn't many. That's why you can't think of one. It's because there fucking
There's
hardly
not
isn't
any
any. Dude.
You
Well, it's the
Like,
same as baseball.
Why did I say white? I just said American.
Right.
Yeah, no, but it's the
It's
same as
almost not
baseball.
American.
Name a good American baseball player right now. They're way
Who's
down.
Who's gonna be in the future? Oh shit. Adley Rushman.
Adley Rushman.
There's quite a few.
There's more in baseball than there is in the NBA.
For
I'll
sure.
say that.
For
Yeah.
sure. Like it's
All right,
weird
guys,
because like that European game is fucking taken over. That's because of that Dirk
right, guys.
Nowitzki, baby.
We gotta pick stuff up because of time constraints. We do have a game going on right now.
Nobody constrains us, Will.
The Seattle Seahawks are leading right now, 24-3 over the New York Football Giants. The game's about to be over. But the game
That
I
game
did
is
want
over.
to talk about was the Kansas City Chiefs versus the New York Jets.
Woo!
A lot of people
you
are
sure?
saying that Zach Wilson might be turning around. I don't see it. What y'all think?
Did you watch that game last night? Zach Wilson looked. Now, the first three drives ended in punts, and you could see that Zach Wilson didn't look quite right. But from the bad penalty call that gave the Jets a safety, and I'm gonna say it like that intentionally because we're gonna be talking about this anyway because everybody bitching about the fucking penalties from last night. But that bad penalty that gave the Jets a safety and started them off on that next drive.
The grasp
When they
started
went-
in the end zone.
No, it didn't. It was before the end zone.
The grasp started in the end zone.
He was
The personal
grasping
foul
before
started in the end zone. Nope.
Anyway,
The face mask grab, the
Um,
5 yard, started outside. Yes, the grasp started in. Sorry.
Now in that started to push things into the Jets' favor because that was a glimmer of hope for Zach Wilson. He comes out,
Yes.
he leads that next drive, and that drive was helped by a horse collar penalty that was not a horse collar. He grabbed him in the front. It was not a horse collar.
Yeah, that ref was Angel Hernandez's cousin.
Yeah.
And they end up scoring. Once Zach Wilson got into rhythm and actually had seen that hope because he was feeling like shit down 17-0. Zach Wilson got into rhythm. He had some self-confidence and he fucking delivered. That's why the first thing that Patrick Mahomes said to Zach Wilson after the game was just play like that. Just fucking play like that all year, dog. Those were the first words to Patrick Mahomes. And can he is a question. And there's some saying he can't. Right now, there is a glimmer that he can. I don't think he can, but Zach Wilson did earn a reprieve last night.
What does Baker Mayfield do, Tony? What does Baker Mayfield do every fucking time? When Baker Mayfield's back is against the wall and he's like the underdog, Baker Mayfield shows out, right? When does Baker Mayfield fucking just win games? When is Baker Mayfield favored in NFL games?
When he's
That's
playing
exactly
Madden.
how I feel about That's how I feel about Zach Wilson, dude. That's how I feel about Zach Wilson. Like, when are these, like, the guys who are good are the guys who have a fucking target on their back and take said target and still win. Zach Wilson will never have a target on his back. Nobody's going to go out and say, oh, we got to beat Zach Wilson today. Like, it's not going to happen.
I understand that Zach Wilson looks like Ellen DeGeneres had sex with Stifler's mom. Okay? But
or Stifler.
Or Stifler. I mean,
yeah. Or all, I mean,
but here's the thing. But here's the thing. As Shannon would say, here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing. I don't think his schedule will allow him to do that again.
No. I don't think the situation is right in Jackson or in New Jersey on the Jets team for Zach Wilson to be successful.
Yeah.
A lot of successful coaching is about situations. I don't think it's the right situation.
Me either.
I think it must suck to be a Jets fan. I mean,
it's gotta.
You go into the season, your team's been losing forever. You know, you go into the season optimistic. Aaron Rodgers still did have some good years in him. I don't know what's going to happen after this injury. I mean, he got a bad rap because of his opinion on the unknown disease from the unspecified origin.
That he happened to be kind of right about.
You know, but he got a bad rap because of his opinion on that. But you know, you go in, the Giants are middling. You're thinking, you know, this is the Jets' time to take New York. It's going to be our year. Even if we don't make the playoffs, the Giants fans aren't going to talk shit to us.
I think too.
Then what happens the first game? You're sitting there. Go, Aaron, go. What is it? The first play of the first game.
Crack.
4 plays in. 4 plays in.
Yeah.
4 plays in.
And you know, it just sucks.
And to add a little bit of more dripping irony on top of it, it's an Achilles. It's an Achilles to the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the one spot that Aaron Rodgers doesn't get hurt that much, dude. He doesn't miss entire seasons. It's the Achilles. It's that fucking special. It's almost like everything's stacked against you.
The Jets are one team that I legitimately believe are cursed. Like, you could, you know, you could talk about, like, we're a Red Sox fan, the curse of the Bambino. There was some continuous systematic shit that Boston got screwed on for a few World Series titles. Like, how do you have 10
like they weren't good enough to win? Like, they weren't good enough to win. That's where they got fucking cursed with.
They were good enough to win, and then the curse happened. That's what we're saying.
Right.
But,
yeah, because curses are real, guys.
They are. God damn it.
Dude, I'm telling you, the Phillies are going to get cursed by an alligator.
There's a coven that lives right down my alley, too.
That alligator thing. Oh, my God. I was laughing so fucking hard at that story. But back to the Chiefs. And Zach Wilson. I don't think that Zach Wilson is in the right situation coaching-wise. I think it's just like Justin Fields in Chicago, Mitch Trubisky in Chicago, most other quarterbacks in Chicago. You know, I just – there's – like Brock Purdy. I don't think we get out of Brock Purdy what we are getting out of if he is not playing in Kyle Shanahan's offense. There are very few coaches Okay, Andy Reid could probably get it out of him. Bill Belichick could probably get it out of him.
I don't know. Brock Purdy throws fucking dimes though.
I mean,
Just say it.
But the coaching situation matters because
It is.
Nathaniel Hackett's not getting out of Brock Purdy what fucking Kyle Shanahan.
No.
There's no way. Josh McDaniels isn't getting out of him what fucking Shanahan would. Like, there's no way. So Robert Saleh, I don't think the right pieces are around Zach Wilson for him to be as successful as he could be. I think the right pieces are around Zach Wilson for what would have been Aaron Rodgers. And
Robert
I think that
Saleh, aka the Rock's tag team partner.
I
He looks
And I
like
really
the
think
fucking,
there's something to that. There's a luck of the draw on the team you end up going to. Like, I think
out of the draft, absolutely.
yeah, like look at Jared Goff. And I think Jared Goff, I still think him and Derek Carr have the potential to be elite quarterbacks. And their first couple of years, they were so battered. You know, you can't. And I think Carr can turn it around. I think Goff is starting to turn it around in Detroit.
Carr is already turning it around too in down in New Orleans. Like, he looks happier, and like I'm happy for the guy.
Yeah.
Um,
But like, it's like, look at all these players. And Zach Wilson, I mean, in 10 years, he's going to be like Kirk Cousins. It's going to be like, who? Oh, is that the sideline reporter?
I think that's his ceiling. Yeah.
Hey,
Does-
real quick, guys, we got a final score from East Rutherford. The Seattle Seahawks defeat the New York Football Giants 20-43.
Oh. Go look at who was quarterback for the Seahawks tonight.
Oh, Drew Lock. After Gino got hurt.
That's
Gino
a lock,
got
baby.
hurt. Drew Lock got in.
That's a lock,
Pete
baby. The
Carroll.
pride
Pete Carroll.
from
Mizzou.
Mizzou, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Where nobody's actually from. Where nobody's actually. Hey, guys, does Robert Saleh look like you forgot to finish your Madden player that you created?
But here's the thing: I feel sorry for that coaching staff because that coaching staff has to come out and constantly lie. We gonna win. We gonna win. You building a bridge of false hope to your players when you know your team's not gonna win. You go out and get Trevor Siemian for God knows what reason. You might as well just stick with who you got. Dance with the devil you know versus the devil you don't. And I just think the Jets are a dumpster fire. That defense is good though. Defense is
They got so focused on Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
They didn't prepare for the possibility of Aaron Rodgers because yes, Dan is
You
right.
shouldn't
Aaron
have
Rodgers
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers does not get injured very often, but Aaron Rodgers is also almost 40 years old. In the NFL, in NFL years, that's grandpa.
It is.
It's not just dad, that's grandpa. He's beyond the dad of the team. He's the grandpa of the team.
Yep.
The guys in their mid-30s are the dads of the team.
And
Gather around, children. The year was
Anything else?
2004.
There should have been
Hey, chef.
there should have been better
What am I
preparation.
doing?
the
That's all I'm
grandpa
saying. There
who
should have
had
been better-
who had the hands of his 1,000 ancestors wrap around him, and they told him that they were proud of him during his ayahuasca trip. So that's a whole new thing, guys. Okay? First atheist quarterback, okay? Biggest hands in the league, probably biggest dick of any NFL quarterback. Let's be honest.
The white ones,
Crickets,
at
come on,
least.
bring it, Will. There we go. Nope. Oh, crickets. No. Okay. No. Yeah, but like. Yeah, and no, but yeah, that's. I mean, they planned around it because Aaron Rodgers doesn't get hurt, and in fucking today's NFL, what quarterbacks do get hurt if they play smart? Especially like dudes that just don't take fucking contact and shit, dude. Like,
Right.
dude, Patrick Mahomes. It's gonna be tough for Patrick Mahomes to fucking ever get hurt during his. I look a knock on wood. I'm not trying to, but like, I'm really saying like he just doesn't take contact, dude. Like he's so good at like fucking sliding underneath shit, and like if Patrick Mahomes gets hurt, it's gonna be on a non-contact injury when he's running. He almost did it last night. He almost did it. He was like running. He was sprinting for that first down, dude. He almost hurt himself on that 3rd and 20 something, like, because he got going too fast. Like he was just like pumped up, and he just like took a weird step, and I was like, oh shit! Hopefully he didn't fucking turn an ACL. Like he doesn't. He's not actually gonna get hit and get hurt. So like,
I mean,
it's just
but
so
the thing
weird.
is, too, the man is made out of rubber. Because I had the injury he got two seasons ago. I've dislocated my patella. You know, it's never been the same. He dislocates his patella. He's back in a week.
Yeah,
I'm still in physical therapy.
That's
What the-
baseball.
Like, what the hell?
That's that baseball flexibility, dude. For real, that's
Yeah,
that baseball
That's
flexibility.
modern day medicine. But Seven, did you get everything out you want to talk about the Giants?
Genetics.
About the Chiefs? Because I do want. I just want to say real quick, my issue with the Chiefs, and I've said this before. Sky Moore, I'm gonna need you to get better. I'm gonna need you to get better.
Their receiving core needs to work on timing still. The other thing I was going to say is last night, I want to give respect to Chris Jones. So when in post-game interview, Rodney Harrison was trying to
my
completely
dick came
fucking
out.
roast,
Asshole.
completely fucking roast Zach Wilson, despite all of the work that Zach Wilson put in last night. Rodney Harrison, a former player, is trying to completely be a dick about it, and Chris Jones stood tall and paid respect to Zach Wilson and the work that he's put in. Fuck you, Rodney Harrison, for being a dick.
I didn't see that. What do you say?
Right. Rodney was basically calling him garbage and trash and stuff like that, and Chris Jones was like, "No, man, he's good. We knew we had to prepare for him. We knew he was good and what he could do if he
He's got
got
tons
right."
of talent.
Well, you know, and
He's got
that's
tons
the,
of talent.
that's the culture that Bill Belichick breeds. You know, that's the culture that Bill Belichick, people that come from Bill Belichick's system don't have respect for other people. That's
It
just,
is.
you know.
It is and it isn't. It's like if you don't do it it becomes almost like if you don't do it that way, that system is so good that like if you don't do it that way, you're fucking garbage, basically. Like it's like because they were so good for so long, it was like, oh, whoever's not doing it this way is fucking terrible. It's like, no, come on, Rodney Harrison. Like you're not, you know, it's like it's like they're those old fucking Patriots teams are turning into fucking the 72 Dolphins like every year. Like we're celebrating going 16 motherfucker. The Patriots went 18-0. Okay, I don't give a fuck if it's the Super Bowl or not. That's more than you guys went. Just saying. Like,
Yeah, they're
that's
the best,
literally more
they're
than
the
you guys.
best 18-1 team ever to never
They
win
are
a
the
Super
great.
Bowl.
They are the greatest 18-1 team ever. But they also went 18-0, and the 72 Dolphins had 13 regular season games. Oh yeah, and they played dudes from 72. So like, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
like,
but they lost to like the dollar store Manning.
Damn.
They didn't even lose to the good Manning.
Damn.
Dude, they lost to the idiot savant Manning, okay? The idiot savant Manning who doesn't realize that he's in big games, okay?
You go
Pressure
18
doesn't
you go
react to
18-0 and you lose to Forrest Gump.
That's just
Like-
I mean, hey,
hey.
So
I'm just trying to figure out how that ball got in that dude's David Tyree's helmet.
Oh my god!
That's what I'm still
how to
trying to figure out.
how to get in there.
How to get in there?
Like,
That's crazy.
How does Eli Manning drop a fucking 38-yard dime? It wasn't Tyree.
I'll just threw the ball, and the ball just landed in where it was supposed to go.
Dude, it's because he didn't know where he was at, Ambrose.
What?
Eli Manning did not know where he was during those Super Bowls. Like he knew he was playing a football game because he plays football. I play
He didn't know
football.
where it was.
Like I play football. Like he doesn't know what game it is. So like it's the same game. So like you would think pressure would affect somebody and they would play worse or better, right? No, Eli Manning just straight down the line, bud. He doesn't even fucking know where he's at. He had no idea that he was in a Super Bowl. He was just somebody told him to go out and throw the fucking routes that he threw in practice. And he was like, "Yeah, I'll go throw the routes." That's all I do.
He's like looking
like-
at the stands. He's like, Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, it's David Tyree. Caught us out. Let's go.
Another thing I did want to get with you about Justin Fields. You're right, Justin Fields. He
Go
sucks.
Plaxico.
Did you see Justin Fields yesterday? Yes, he threw 3 touchdowns because he played the worst NFL team defensively in history right now with the Denver Broncos. He threw 3 touchdowns, but he's still bad. Oh my goodness. He finally connected with DJ Moore, had a good game with Cole Kmet, but
Will,
I just don't trust it anymore.
I told you he cannot
You
throw the
told
ball
me.
down the field.
You told
He
me.
can't he just can't do it, dude. It's like he's a college quarterback. He's a 6th-year college quarterback at this point. It's
What
unfortunate.
What happens? Do they bench Fields first, or do they fire Eberflus first? Which one happens first?
How?
They can't fucking bench Fields. Fields is their
Try
guy.
Eberflus.
Like if
Try
they lose,
Eberflus.
yeah, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
his name's Eberflus. He's ready to get fired. Like who's surprised when they're like, fucking the Bears fire head coach Matt Eberflus. Everyone's like, oh, couldn't see that one coming. Thought Eberflus was going to be a Hall of Famer. Thought he was going to be
Hall of Fame
tearing
head
it up
coach,
up
baby.
there.
Hey,
Yo,
Yeah.
but
I think
But
the
you're
Bears
right.
have a curse. They fired Lovey, And Lovey was a good coach. I think Lovey's sitting there and Lovey's loving it. Lovey's probably like,
He is. Lovey is
That's a
loving.
karma thing. They should not have fired Lovey Smith.
He took him.
Lovey
10
looked
to
like
6.
Black Santa.
He took him 10-6.
Looking
Yeah.
like Black
10-6.
Santa.
Yep, that's what he looked like, Black Santa.
He does. He looks like a guy that plays at a barbecue blues joint on the weekends.
One other thing I want to talk about in the
Black Snake is evil.
the game with the Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay.
Redskins. Sorry.
Ron Rivera, the Redskins.
They're trying to get back to it. They're trying to get back to it.
On
Ron
command.
Rivera is doing a great job of one thing right now, and that is keeping the seat warm until he gets fired and Eric Bieniemy is named the head coach of the Washington Commanders.
That's what Ron Rivera's always done.
I don't understand
Um,
what they call in.
His defense is horrible.
Yeah.
If he has a better defense, Washington beats Philadelphia. They only lost that game by 3.
You know what, though? As someone who lives in the DC Baltimore area, I love it because every year when the draft happens, the Redskins win the Super Bowl.
And I'm gonna say
And
one thing.
all you hear is Redskins fans, yo, we're going to the show this year. And then it's September, and it's like, and I tell them, I'm like, I'm a Raiders fan. And they're like, your team sucks. I'm like, I know.
Hey,
Yeah.
My season ends in week 4.
I just want to say real quick.
And I don't care.
I just want to say real quick before we get out of here, Atlanta Falcons, that whole Atlanta Falcons offense sucks. We got Bijan Robinson, and that's it. Drake London, terrible. Kyle
but
Pitts,
Desmond Ritter doesn't
Here's
look terrible, does he?
Desmond Ritter looks fucking god awful.
he's garbage.
They are not
He's
scheming
garbage.
Kyle Pitts correctly.
Well,
Kyle Pitts should be traded to a team that can actually fucking use him.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing with Atlanta. Atlanta goes about 15 to 16 years between good teams. So they had the good team with Deion Sanders in like 92, and they sucked. Then they got to Chris Chandler, made it to the Super Bowl, and they sucked. Mike Vick kind of screwed up their, flow there, and they sucked.
That was
Went
rough.
to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, got rid of Matt Ryan. Now they suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think Mike Vick put him into a little bit of a pause.
Oh yeah. All right, guys.
No?
Let's go
Nobody?
ahead and wrap this puppy up. Anybody got any final words?
I do. I got a fucking question. Go ahead. I want to go last. Go ahead.
I'm going to say this last thing. I posted about this previously. Yesterday, we had the passing of Tim Wakefield. Brain cancer. He was in his 50s. Definitely a huge blow. He was a hero. He was a hero in the 2004 World Series run. He was a very dedicated humanitarian. He loved kids, loved doing a lot of work for kids, and even after his career as a player was over, a lot of work with the Jimmy Fund, a foundation of Boston that does great fucking work. But what's unfortunate is the passing of Tim Wakefield was marred by frustration because Kurt fucking Schilling couldn't keep his goddamn mouth shut. Kurt, I respect you as a player. And this is not because of your political or religious beliefs, but you can go fuck yourself. Fuck you for ruining the death of Tim Wakefield and making it even worse than it was. He wanted to die in peace. He didn't want to have a bunch of attention, and you fucked it up 3 days before he died. Fuck you, Kurt Schilling.
I was going to talk to Kurt Schilling about that.
And
Kurt Schilling.
I'll piggyback off what he said. And Tim Wakefield, a quote came up after he died, and I think he had 7 victories to go to set the Boston franchise record for wins. I think it was he was behind Clemens and someone else, and he has 7 victories to keep it for himself. And he said, if I go back there, I'm still competitive, but I'm doing what's best for the Red Sox and my family. 7 wins won't change who I am today. So I don't need to go back. My family needs me home now, so I'm just going to hang it up. And, that's the kind of man they lost. And like you said, Kurt Schilling kind of, mucked all that up. And, you made it about you, Kurt. Fuck you.
Just think about, dude, think about the kind of demeanor you have to have to be a knuckleball pitcher in Major League Baseball, dude. Like that's
he
just
was deadly with
conceding.
that knuckleball.
That's conceding the fact that you don't have good enough stuff to pitch in the major leagues. Okay, that's what that's doing, and saying like, oh, but I do have one thing, and that's fucking determination for one, and that's fucking grinding it out, and that's like the fact that he became that good of a pitcher is unbelievable. Says tons about his fucking mindset. Says tons about his fucking grit. Is what it does. It says tons about that fucking human being just off the bat. You don't even have to know anything about him. And that says a ton about him, for real. And so fucking that wasn't a left field though too, because nobody knew. Like he fucking kept that shit secret the whole time. Didn't he?
There were plenty of people, like plenty of athletes and people affiliated with the Red Sox organization. Everybody knew. Alex Cora knew. The actual active players, they all knew. But everybody had respected the Wakefield's family's wishes of not saying a goddamn word about it publicly.
Yeah, he did it the way Norm Macdonald did. He told the people he needed to tell, and he said, "I don't want to go out on a pity party."
Right. A bunch of people around just like, oh, everything sucks. Yeah, like that's. I mean, it totally makes sense. Like I get that whole thing. Like, and yeah,
and
Schilling,
that was the type of guy that Tim was. He didn't want all of that attention to be on him. He wanted the attention to be on things that he felt were more important than his health. Kurt Schilling, fuck you.
Fuck
hey,
you, man.
this was my last thing, real quick. Ambrose, you're gonna fucking love this, Ambrose.
All right.
Last week I proposed that LeBron James, if he would have picked football as his sport, would right now be top 3 NFL tight end of all time. And I don't think that's that far out of the fucking realm of possibility. Do you? You hate LeBron James, and I don't think you can sit here and tell me that that's not out of the realm of possibility.
I think he fakes too many injuries.
I don't think he does, though.
I think he'd have one good season and be like, "Oh, we need to stop the clock." Oh,
bro, he wouldn't have though. Like, say he picks it and goes at football as his fucking entire profession. You're not gonna tell me, like, dude, tight ends don't fucking tight ends don't take that many shots if they're receiving tight ends. Don't tell me Antonio Gates was out there in the trenches fucking blocking, because he wasn't. And don't tell me Tony Gonzalez was out there fucking and fucking throwing crackdown blocks, because he wasn't. Okay, and don't tell me Travis Kelce blocks very much, because he doesn't. Okay, LeBron James is a top 3 all-time NFL tight end right now. If he would have picked fucking football,
I don't think so.
if that's the case, Michael Jordan is the top all-time tight end.
No,
if
he's not.
Enters football.
Michael Jordan could have been a decent wide receiver in the NFL.
Michael Jordan
middle of the road
than even another sport.
Middle of the road, right? Middle of the road wide receiver, probably like a James Jett type. Okay.
Me disrespecting Matt like
really,
that.
James Jett?
James Jett, maybe. Oh, sorry.
Really?
Hang on. I'll give you guys.
That's
let's
so
see here.
disrespectful.
I don't know. Plaxico Burress, maybe.
Okay.
Except for he doesn't shoot himself in the leg, he gets his dad shot. How about that?
I think LeBron James would make a phenomenal women's soccer player.
Damn.
Like, I think
you have so much blind hate, Ambrose. I literally thought you were going to answer that question seriously, and you just—that's where you went.
I think
you're
they
so
have an
serious
opening.
about everything else. Do you know what this is like? This is like people hating the Cowboys and people hating the Yankees. That's what it's like.
All
Like
right,
you
guys.
have blind hate for the man.
Over the fact that
You have
he's
blind
not
hate
as
for
good
him.
as Michael Jordan.
You have
All
blind
right,
hate.
y'all, all right,
Michael
y'all.
Jordan's
every
over
night.
the hood. Michael Jordan's like, I got
He's not even
102
done yet.
temperature.
He's not even done yet, bro. He's not even done yet. That's the best part. Not even done. Still plays.
Y'all have a good night. We'll see you
Guys have
again
already
next
shut it
week
down.
right here on the Sports Report podcast. Have a good night, everybody.
Whatever. Fuck all y'all.
Tight in my ass.
You're a tight end.